my goodness, I'm so excited to be joining you on this side of the camera and starting something a little bit new. So forgive me if there's a few if there's a few moments where I'm not totally polished. I want to come to you guys just super me and laid back and bring you some great content. So my hope for these conversations is that you walk away with some practical knowledge to help your life and business move to that next level, and that you also feel inspiration. And I also promise to try to keep these videos really short and impactful so that you actually watch to the end, because who actually clicks the link, they start the video and then they don't finish it because it's just too much and you've got so many things to do. So today I want to ask you a question, and I want to dig into this topic just a little bit. Do you want to make a lot of money? Do you want to make more money? Okay, like the initial response, like what is that initial response in you? I've noticed this theme with women, like as I coach them, that we have some real issues around money, around our desire for abundance, to make more money, and I want to dig into that a little bit today. So whenever I am on a strategy call with somebody who's considering working with me in my program, I ask them, what's the ideal picture that you would like your life and business to look like in a year from now, and when we're finished with the program in 3 months? And of course, we get some really great ideas of, we really want processes and systems in place. We'd really like to feel inner sense of confidence in knowing what we're selling. We want to feel like we have a really clear picture of where we're headed, and we're not just throwing ideas on the wall like spaghetti, but we actually have a system, have a visual, have an ideal picture that we're working towards in business. And then often, sort of sheepishly, women will say, and if it's okay, I feel like I would like to make more money. I'm like, oh my goodness, yes. If we are a growing, thriving business, and if I'm a good business coach, my hope for you would be that you are increasing your revenue, that your profit margins are growing, and that you're paying yourself more and more. So I think that this is an interesting theme that I've noticed from the beginning of when I first talk to women, throughout the time that I spend coaching them. These different blocks are popping up around money. And I want to kind of take a minute to stop and say, hey, before we go into all the strategy of numbers and how to set data-driven goals and strategically raising your prices and how to sell those things, we need to have a shift around our money mindset. So my first prompt for you, and I really would love it if you would actually take your journal out and write this down. My first prompt for you is, I want you to think about, why might you have shame or a hesitancy around making more money? Often this comes from stories and lessons that we've told ourselves throughout our life, or been told from others throughout our life. So for me, some of the things that I was told about money is that you have to work really, really, really hard to make money. And while I love that built a really great work ethic in me, it also makes me think that it has to be really hard in order to make money. And that doesn't always have to be the case. Another thing that I was told from my amazing, amazing father, who's worked in corporate America for over 30 years, is he gave me this advice: Erin, do what you love to do, not what makes a ton of money. So while that lesson, I get where he was coming from, it really made me think, oh, I can either make a lot of money or I can do what I love, but I can't do both. And then I also, growing up in a pretty conservative background, it was almost looked down upon to be rich. It was like the love of money is the root of all evil, which is very twisted in and of itself and doesn't even actually make a lot of sense to me. But I grew up with this subconscious belief that being rich and having a lot of money and having an abundant life is actually something to be kind of ashamed of. It's kind of an ucky thing. So I want you to think about first, what are those stories? What are those beliefs? You know, in talking to other women, sometimes it's like, I'm afraid to make more money than my parents. Or I think that my siblings will be really jealous of me driving this type of car that I dream of. Or I'm not smart enough to make this kind of money. Like, there's all different lies and beliefs that I want us to think about. Pause for a minute and think about, what is that for you? And then, secondly, I want us to start switching the script. So what does money bring? If we are people that hope to be generous and impactful and loving in this world, what happens when we get rich as people like that? I think it means that we can be generous beyond belief, that we can impact our friends in our communities in beautiful, beautiful ways. I think it means that we can do more of what we love because we can delegate out the other things that we don't love. So that means we're bringing more beauty and impact to the world in only the ways that we can do. So I think that being rich and bringing in more money is actually something super beautiful and amazing that we can do for the world. So I want you to think, secondly, what are the things that I can do if I were given a lot of money, through my company, not if, when, what would I do with that money? What are the things I would do for the people in my life, for my community, for the environment? I want you to really think about that, because I think that if we can have this shift in money, we can dig up the old lies, we can retrain our subconscious, and we can start thinking and dreaming, what would we do if we had this impact? I think that then we welcome money in, we've removed those blocks, and then all the strategy that can come after will flow, and the money will flow, and we can be more impactful humans on this planet. Okay, so last thing, I want to give you a couple resources. I want you to check out, I'll link them for you. I want you to check out this video that Marie Forleo just did with the man who wrote The Latte Factor. I started listening to the book and watched the interview. It's amazing. I also want you to check out I'm a Badass at Making Money. Some of these ideas and principles have come from this book, and they have prompts at the end of every chapter so you can dig even further. And then I also want you to check out this really old school book. I think it was originally written in 1910, called The Science of Getting Rich. Okay, friends, I hope that this was helpful for you, that it gave you some prompts and things to think about, as well as some resources. I can't wait to hear your thoughts. Send me what you're thinking. Give me some ideas of your prompts. I love you all, and I hope that we can make the world a more beautiful place by making more money. Video blog.